For my question today, it is: suppose you were asked to give a talk to parents about young teenagers' need for sex education and for adult guidance with regards to romantic relationships. What topics or points would you discuss in your talk and why? My first topic that I would talk about is open communication. I think this is very important because it brings a safe place between a teenager and the parent. This is a very important stage in a teenager's life because they know that they have someone to trust. They know that they have someone to talk to. Their parents aren't going to judge them. They're going to be there for them and they're going to be understanding. I think that's a very important stage because you always want your parents to be someone that you can trust, someone that you can lean on, someone that you can really dive deep in and have that conversation, have those hard conversations, even if you're so scared to have that conversation. But knowing you can have that conversation with your parent is so important growing up. And I feel like having that hard conversations and knowing that with my mom, I used to never be able to have those hard conversations because I was so scared that I was going to get in trouble. I was so scared that I was going to get judged. I was so scared that my mom wasn't going to understand what I was going through. I bottled everything up and it made it so hard. Me and my mom would butt heads so much because it was just like I had so much hatred because she just wouldn't make me feel like I could come to her. Until I finally were able to open up to her and we became and had that open relationship. That next one that I would like to talk about for the topics that I would want to talk about is a healthy relationship. I feel like this topic is also very important because nowadays what we see in relationships is something that I don't know what's going on with the world. Like, I feel like having the sit down of what a healthy relationship is very important. Even if you're in a two-parent household, whether you're in a two-parent household or you're in a separate household, you could still have and see a toxic household. It does not matter whether your parents are together or separate. There could still be toxicity. I grew up with just a single mother. My dad was not in my life like that. I had a stepdad at the age of 12. I watched my mom go through the worst marriage of her whole entire life, the most toxic relationship ever. But at the age of 12, I thought that was normal. So from 12 to 20, I thought what my mom was going through was normal and it was something that was okay. When my mom did not have that sit down with me and let me know that that is not a healthy relationship and this is something I should not want myself to go through, I ended up following in her footsteps. I would let men treat me how my mom was letting her husband treat her. So having that sit down with your child and letting them know just because you see what I am going through does not mean it is necessarily a healthy relationship and something that you should be putting yourself through. No matter how much you see the good side, there is always a bad side. And I saw both the good and bad. And I said, well, there's good days, so this must be okay. It was never okay. What I was seeing was never okay. So having that sit down and letting your child know what a healthy relationship is very important. My next topic is talking about puberty. I feel like talking about puberty is so important because during this time, it's like your body is changing and you don't know what to do with those emotions. While your body is changing, this is when people are going through body dysmorphia, a whole bunch of eating disorders, anxiety, depression, like so many bad coping mechanisms. They're going to marijuana use, drugs, alcohol, anything you could think of because there's so many emotions that an adolescent doesn't know what to do with because they bottle them up and can't talk about them. So in puberty, I think it's very important. My next one is consent. This is a very important topic to talk about. Consent is a very important topic, and I feel like it should always be talked about. It should always be taught that no means no. And no matter what you say, no means no. Even if you wanted to at first, but you say no, stop, you said no. No means no. If a person says no to you, no means no. That is important. Consent is so important, and if you take away someone's consent, it is so wrong, and there's so much that could happen, like taking away someone's consent. My last one is self-esteem. I think talking about self-esteem is very important because in the adolescent stage, we're oftentimes on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Those are the worst places for any adolescent to be on, because we're comparing our bodies to them. We're comparing our lifestyles to them. It's so hard to want to have this like perfect ideal body when we're looking at people through a screen and they have no acne, they have perfect body shape, they don't have to work out, they don't have to do anything. Look at the magazines. I feel like talking about that stuff that in the media, it's not always what it's portrayed to be out, because people do get work done, people do fix themselves, people do other things to make themselves look like that. We can't always believe things. And I feel like if I was taught that stuff at first, I would have never even had body dysmorphia in the first place. These are so many important topics that should be talked about, but don't get talked about a lot. And I feel like they're important because it could stop a whole lot of generational trauma.